Hello, I'm Craig Brelsford, and welcome to another episode of Small Stocks, Big Money. For those of you new to the show, RedChip is an investor relations, media, and research firm focused on emerging growth companies. Our unique platform combines global multimedia with traditional investor relations, reaching investors around the world. Now, today's show features interviews with executives of two public companies. First up is Nexalin Technology. Nexalin Technology is a pioneering medical technology company focused on addressing the global mental health crisis through innovative neurostimulation devices. Nexalin's products, which include the Gen 2 and newly introduced Gen 3 Halo Clarity devices, are non-invasive and utilize advanced frequency-based stimulation to target deep brain structures associated with various mental health disorders. These disorders include, but are not limited to, depression, anxiety, insomnia, PTSD, and traumatic brain injuries. We'll learn more when we speak with the CEO later in the show. Up next is Calidi Biotherapeutics. Calidi Biotherapeutics is a clinical stage immuno-oncology company with proprietary technology designed to arm the immune system to fight cancer. Calidi's novel stem cell-based platforms utilize potent allogeneic stem cells capable of carrying payloads of oncolytic viruses for use in multiple oncology indications, among them high-grade gliomas and solid tumors. Calidi's off-the-shelf universal cell-based delivery platforms are designed to protect, amplify, and potentiate oncolytic viruses, leading to enhanced efficacy and improved patient safety. This dual approach can potentially treat or even prevent metastatic disease. We'll learn more when we speak with the Chief Business Officer later in the show. Now, before we get to the first interview, our quote of the week. It comes from the book Small Stocks, Big Money. For me, the fun is to build, not to manage. I look for what's available, what is possible to do. That is the overriding consideration. There are a lot of things I would have liked to do, but I didn't have the means. This quote comes from Dr. Phil Frost, who's the chairman of OPCO Health, and it is featured in Chapter 4 of Small Stocks, Big Money, a book of exclusive interviews with some of the biggest players in the microcap space. Get a digital copy on Amazon today for just $18. Now, let's get started with our first interview today with Nexalin Technology. Hello, today we have Mark White, CEO of Nexalin Technology, trading on the NASDAQ under the ticker NXL. Mark, welcome back.
Good to see you, Craig.
Now, Mark, for those who may not be familiar with Nexalin, please start by giving us an overview of what your company does and what sets you apart, especially in the field of mental health and neurostimulation technology.
Okay, so first of all, you touched on it, mental health. Everybody knows somebody struggling with some type of a mental health issue. Whether it's our children with attention issues, whether it's our parents with Alzheimer's, dementia, whether it's us, our friends studying with anxiety, depression, insomnia. We've got addiction. We've got military personnel struggling with traumatic brain injury and suicide. Basically, the problem is we have a global mental health epidemic. Currently, as everybody is well aware, the standard of care is medication. Now, there's a time and a place for medication, but it's not all the time, every time. There are issues that everybody is well aware of with medication called side effects, risk, dependency, perhaps most importantly, lack of response, or in other words, only about 40% of the population that takes medication actually gets the true benefits it was originally designed for without the side effects and the risk. And what Nexalin is doing is using the word you gave us was neurostimulation. So your brain is full of billions of neurons. That's how it works. And what we are in the business of doing is stimulating those neurons with its language, which is frequencies, so that we can literally promote or evoke a response in the brain towards health and wellness, non-invasively, without any detectable feelings, no discomfort, no risk, no side effects, and perhaps most importantly, you can do it in the privacy of your own home without going to the psychiatrist's office because our technology is FDA cleared. It is a medical technology, but it is prescribed and monitored through a digital virtual clinic. So just imagine telehealth, teledoc, telepsychiatry. Imagine that on steroids in what we call the Nexalin virtual clinic. We believe that Nexalin is the future of mental health treatment in all the areas that I just mentioned. And we've been able to step out of the clinical psychiatric model and step into the privacy of your residence and offer a safe and effective treatment that 90% of the time will resolve your issues with all the areas of mental health challenges I mentioned.
Now, Mark, your recent clinical trials on major depressive disorder, they showed significant improvements when using Nexalin technology in combination with antidepressants. Now, share with us more about those trial results and what it could mean for the treatment of depression.
So basically, let the consumer decide, do you want to take medication or not? And what Nexalin did is we performed a clinical trial. We put 70 patients into a group. All 70 took Lexapro. Half got Nexalin, half got sham treatment, not an active treatment, fake treatment. The active group not only responded in 2 weeks instead of 6 weeks, but instead of responding at 40%, 35%, the response was close to 60%. So we almost doubled the response in a positive way with the patients, and we decreased the patient response time from 6 weeks to 2 weeks. So now you can decide, I want to go drug-free, I want to reduce my dosage, reduce my side effects, and do Nexalin and the medication, your choice.
You have seen some very important countries approve your technology, among them China and Brazil. Talk about the significance of those approvals and what does it mean for the global expansion of Nexalin?
That's right. So it's a global strategy. While we're developing our FDA clinical trials working in the United States, we started overseas, started in China. We cleared for depression and insomnia. We'll start distributing in 2025. We also then went into the South America model. We started in Brazil, and we'll start to work into the other countries in South America. We also produced that same type of model in the Middle East, where we started in Oman, and we'll now start stepping into Bahrain, UAE, Saudi Arabia, etc. That way we're running literally, because this is a global mental health epidemic, we're running a global model while we develop the United States and Europe as our two primary markets.
Speaking of the U.S., you're working here with the FDA toward clearance of your virtual opioid treatment model, Mark. Share with us the progress in this area and tell us about the potential impact on the opioid crisis.
All right. Quickly, addiction is a brain-based disease. We all agree on that. Currently, when you go to treatment or you go to a recovery house, the only thing you do is sleep and eat and talk. There's no actual treatment for the brain. What Nexalin is doing is using a brain-based treatment to restore the health of the brain before the addiction came into place. And because of the fact that all of our technology can now be prescribed and monitored through a digital virtual clinic, you no longer have to go away to treatment. You can actually be part of a virtual medication-assisted program, and we're working with some collaborators to take the treatment out of the hospital and put it in the privacy of your home so you can continue to work. You can continue to receive treatment in the privacy of your home, but most importantly, you're getting brain-based treatments instead of talk therapy.
Mark, every time you and I talk, including now, you and I talk about the global mental health epidemic. Obviously, the global mental health treatment market is growing rapidly. Projections are in the billions over the next decade. Talked about it before, but I just want to hear more, and I think our viewers do too. How do you plan to capitalize on the market opportunity, and what should investors know about your strategy?
Okay, when we talk about a global strategy, first of all, we're not going to try to run our global marketing distribution out of one office in the United States. More specifically, what we do is we identify partners in these respective countries and respective governments that are familiar with their society, familiar with their healthcare, familiar with their payers, so that they can actually take our technology and work in partnership with us. So we're partners, not manufacturer distributor. That's where you get into trouble. If you work in a partnership model, you can actually go into these various countries and get your partners to strategize on regulatory strategies, distribution strategies, treatment strategies, etc. And this way, we don't need to be an expert in every market we go into. In fact, quite the opposite. We partner with experts in the respective countries, respected governments, respected medical communities. That's the model in short.
Wrapping up now, Mark, in a nutshell, why should an investor take an interest in Nexalin right now?
The future of mental health treatment is not medication. We all know there are problems. We could go on for 30 minutes. We know that the future of mental health and other types of health issues is going to be digital medicine. The future of mental health treatment is the ability to treat the brain in a non-invasive, safe, and effective way without any risk, side effects. And the most important part of that is close to 90%, and our data shows in published clinical trials between 75 and 90% positive response for the reduction of the primary mood disorders. So when we talk about what's the opportunity, we're talking about the future of the mental health treatment model. We're talking about a proprietary technique that's been patented and has 32 patents in the pipeline. This is the future. Get on board.
Thanks for the update, Mark.
Have a great day.
Now, to get more information on Nexalin Technology, visit nxlinfo.com. You'll see research reports, fact sheets, presentations, and the latest videos. It's all free, and you can even subscribe to email alerts to stay on top of the latest news. You can also call 1-800-RedChip to speak to a specialist if you have any questions. We also have a free weekly newsletter you can subscribe to at redchip.com, featuring emerging growth companies like Nexalin Technology. Watch this show again and explore hundreds of small-cap stock videos on RedChip's YouTube channel. Also, go to our website and sign up on our events page for the webinar series. We have webinars every week, several a week, in which we feature small public companies, mostly client companies, and you'll hear straight from the CEO, and you'll be able to ask questions after that. Again, visit redchip.com and subscribe today. In addition to our newsletter, you can also order your copy of Small Stocks, Big Money, a book written by RedChip CEO, featuring interviews with some of the biggest players in the microcap space. Order your copy today on Amazon for just $18. Now, let's move on to our next interview today with Calidi Biotherapeutics.
Stephen, good to see you today. Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you, Dave.
So, Stephen, I want to start today with your explaining your platform, an overview of what your company does and what makes it unique in the world of cancer treatment.
Definitely. We are a cancer immunotherapy. We are unique because we use stem cell and other cell elements to wrap, like a Trojan horse, to deliver a virotherapy. And that's a virus that's engineered to attack cancer and nothing else. Some of our advisors have called it the anti-chemo because it only attacks the cancer and doesn't mess with the rest of the patient's system.
And that's a very important field today in cancer research and treatment. Talk to us about why the stem cells are important, how you're using those stem cells.
We use the stem cell on two of our platforms, Neuronova and Supernova, and it acts like a cloaking device because these virotherapies had a lot of promise, or have had a lot of promise over the past 8 to 10 years, but the patient's immune system would wipe it out. And so you were left with very little to go after the cancer. By using cells, stem cells for our Neuronova and Supernova to protect the virus, like a radar cloaking device, if you will, we ensure that the virotherapy gets to the tumor and takes it out.
Okay. Now, your pipeline targets several very important needs in cancer treatment: glioblastoma, metastatic melanoma, and lung cancer. Talk to us about what stage of development, where you are in the clinical trials on these three indications.
Definitely. We have Neuronova, which is targeting brain cancer, high-grade glioma. We have a clinical trial that's underway at City of Hope in Los Angeles. And we just announced an IND approval, that's investigational new drug approval by the FDA to do a follow-on clinical trial at Northwestern University. And our supernova is moving forward. We will complete our IND submittal to the FDA in the next 3-4 months. And then lastly, our RT Nova, which is a breakthrough targeted systemic, it's IV-based treatment that targets only the cancer. That one uses a human cell membrane engineered around the payload, the virotherapy, to flow through the bloodstream and get directly to the tumor.
What program is the most advanced, and what program are you most excited about?
Great question. The one that's most advanced is the Neuronova, the brain cancer. We've treated 12 patients already in a safety study at Northwestern University, and we published those results a little over 2 years ago. And so that was a single dose study, and we just got FDA approval to do a multi-dose study. That's in newly diagnosed high-grade glioma, brain cancer, also called glioblastoma, the advanced form of which. Then our supernova is targeting large cancers, large tumors where there's an unmet need. So triple negative breast, head and neck, and metastatic melanoma, as well as some squamous cell cancers. And then RT Nova, the most really exciting in the eyes of big pharma, where we're currently in dialogue with 5 large cap biopharma companies around collaboration, funding initiatives. That one will target lung cancers. Most cancers, when they metastasize, will end up in the lungs. And so this is something for advanced cancers where there have been metastases throughout the body. And that's a very exciting and breakthrough technology. I should mention that Neuronova is a licensed technology.
Stephen, you already have collaborations with some very high-profile institutions, Northwestern, for example. For this therapy that targets lung cancer, you say you're in discussions with Big Pharma for potential collaboration. What would a collaboration look like with Big Pharma?
A collaboration with Big Pharma would be them coming alongside of Calidi, financial support, as well as helping us define custom payloads on that platform that would target cancers that were of specific interest to that big pharma partner. I should mention that RT Nova came about from discussions 3 years ago with a handful of big pharma companies. They had interest in our supernova, but they said, you know, if there's any way you could make this systemic, IV based, we think that would be incredible. And one actually said, we consider that the holy grail of cancer treatments. And so today we have advanced preclinical data in support of this platform that shows how effective it is.
For a $10 million market cap company, I see a lot of upside here. So I want you to sum up the essential value proposition for investors today.
The essential value proposition here is that we have 3 drug platforms, 2 of which are either in clinic or soon to be in the clinic, and 1 platform that is considered significant breakthrough. And this is of interest to big pharma. With all these things underway, Calidi is tremendously undervalued. And so this is a great opportunity for investors to come on board and we believe to see substantial benefit over the next months and few years.
So, Stephen, it's one thing management saying we're undervalued, but you have 3 Wall Street analysts with research coverage, and the consensus is in that $10 price target range.
So yes, Dave, that is correct. We have 3 analysts who are covering Calidi, and the target consensus is $10 a share.
Significant potential upside for early investors. Stephen, it's a great story, an incredible technology, great collaborations. Thanks for being with us today.
Thank you, Dave.
Now, to get more information on Calidi Biotherapeutics, visit CLDIinfo.com. You'll see research reports, fact sheets, presentations, and the latest videos. It's all free, and you can even subscribe to email alerts to stay on top of the latest news. You can also call 1-800-RED-CHIP to speak to a specialist if you have any questions. We also have a free weekly newsletter you can subscribe to at redchip.com, featuring emerging growth companies like Calidi Biotherapeutics. Watch this show again and explore hundreds of small cap stock videos on RedChip's YouTube channel. Also, go to our website and sign up on our events page for the webinar series. We have webinars every week, several a week, in which we feature small public companies, mostly client companies, and you'll hear straight from the CEO and you'll be able to ask questions after that. Again, visit redchip.com and subscribe today. In addition to our newsletter, you can order Small Stocks, Big Money. This is a book written by RedChip CEO, featuring interviews with some of the biggest players in the microcap space. Get a digital copy on Amazon for $18. Now, let's recap the companies featured today. First, you met Nexalin Technology, NXL, on the NASDAQ. Nexalin Technology is a pioneering medical technology company focused on addressing the global mental health crisis through innovative neurostimulation devices. Nexalin's products, which include the Gen 2 and newly introduced Gen 3 Halo Clarity devices, are non-invasive and utilize advanced frequency-based stimulation to target deep brain structures associated with various mental health disorders. These disorders include, but are not limited to, depression, anxiety, insomnia, PTSD, and traumatic brain injuries. Learn more at www.nxlinfo.com. Then you met Calidi Biotherapeutics, CLDI, on the New York Stock Exchange American. Calidi Biotherapeutics is a clinical stage immuno-oncology company with proprietary technology designed to arm the immune system to fight cancer. Calidi's novel stem cell-based platforms are utilizing potent allogeneic stem cells capable of carrying payloads of oncolytic viruses for use in multiple oncology indications, including high-grade gliomas and solid tumors. Calidi's off-the-shelf universal cell-based delivery platforms are designed to protect, amplify, and potentiate oncolytic viruses, leading to enhanced efficacy and improved patient safety. This dual approach can potentially treat or even prevent metastatic disease. Learn more at www.cldinfo.com. Don't forget to check out our stocks page. It is the biggest small cap stock portal in the industry. Every company listed on the NASDAQ or New York Stock Exchange with market caps of $2 billion and less. And it's categorized by industries. Watch this show again and explore hundreds of small cap stock videos on RedChip's YouTube channel. And be sure to sign up for our weekly newsletter and learn about a lot of small cap companies. Also, go to our website and sign up on our events page for the webinar series. We have webinars every week, several a week, in which we feature small public companies, mostly client companies, and you'll hear straight from the CEO, and you'll be able to ask questions after that. Again, if you have any questions about any of our public companies featured on today's show, call us at 1-800-RED-CHIP or email us at info@redchip.com. In closing, remember, while small caps can provide significant gains, you must be prepared for the downside. Small cap stocks are among the most volatile of asset classes. Some of the companies featured on this show are RedChip client companies, and we may own stock in these companies. So please, always read our disclosures at redchip.com. Thank you for being with us today. We'll see you next week with some new, exciting, emerging growth companies.
Hello, my name is Kong Do. I'm the president and CEO of BIOV. BIOV trades on the NASDAQ under the ticker BIVI, and we are developing therapies for Alzheimer's and Parkinson's, hopefully long COVID, and also ascites, which is a late-stage liver disease. Our lead candidate is bezisterim, which is a novel inhibitor of inflammation, which has shown in the clinic to help Alzheimer's patients experience a 68% slowing of cognitive decline after just 6 months of treatment. Bezisterim has also shown and helped Parkinson's patients experience greater motor control, particularly help them maintain muscle control first thing in the morning when the standard of care has worn off overnight. And we also recently received a $13 million grant to explore bezisterim in long COVID. Researchers have linked the symptoms of long COVID to inflammation. And since bezisterim is a novel inhibitor of inflammation, we believe this could potentially help patients who are suffering from the debilitating conditions associated with long COVID. So we aim to start that trials very soon. Our second drug is a drug called BIV201, which treats ascites, which is a late-stage liver disease that has a 50% mortality rate within 12 months. And we just received notification that we will be granted a patent for a novel formulation that we created for this drug, BIV201. So please learn more about our work from our website, biovpharma.com. That's BIOVIE pharma.com. Thank you very much.